The ceasefire is in place as we await the release of the hostages. So how close is Trump to ending another forever war? We are joined by foreign policy advisor to Congressman Abe Hamadeh, Bryan Leib, and also former deputy national security advisor to President Trump. There she is, Victoria Coates, two of my favorites. First of all, Victoria, this is extraordinary. Where do you think we're headed from here? And of course, you just heard probably from the former prime minister. Of course, the most important thing is those hostages get out. That's going to be very complex. You've got 20 living. We have the remains, we believe, of 28 more. And of course, we're waiting to see, will all of them be returned? How confident are you of what's going to happen in the next 24, 48 hours?
Well, that's really President Trump's red line, Rita, that all the hostages have to come out at once, that we're not going to have this agonizing drip drab of one coming out, two coming out. No, they're all going to come out. Hamas knows where they are. They can produce them. And that's the critical thing. But, what was really striking about the former prime minister, rather, Olmert's statement was the unity that he was expressing with his old rival, Bibi Netanyahu. I think maybe the President Trump didn't deserve the Peace Prize for this deal. He deserves the Peace Prize for bringing all the political factions in Israel together. It's a wonderful moment. I hope he goes and just really feels the love that's pouring out of Israel for him.
It is really amazing, this coalition. And as Victoria was talking about, Bryan, to see some of these folks who don't necessarily get along with each other. I mean, you see Turkey, you see Qatar, you see Egypt, the Saudis, and only President Trump was really picking up the phone. There was Erdogan at the White House it was last week, and he said, oh, we just got off the phone with the Qatari prime minister, pulling this coalition together that was squeezing Hamas. Not to mention also, let's not forget about the fact that President Trump went into Iran and he bombed Iran. That clearly sent a message because Iran is funding Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. So they were squeezing Hamas in all these different directions, Bryan.
Rita, you are exactly correct. President Trump has brought together world leaders from the Middle East, from all aspects of the world to make this historic peace deal. And it reminds all of us that President Trump is not just the ultimate deal maker, which we saw with him before becoming president and in the 45th administration and now in this administration, but he's also the ultimate peacemaker. And he's bringing countries together to make lasting peace. And, I think that the American people, all of us, should be very proud of our president, be very proud of this administration and the entire team for what they're doing. It's been 2 very, very long years for our brothers and sisters and our friends in Israel, and these families are being reunited finally. And it's because of President Trump. It's because of his partnership with Prime Minister Netanyahu and also President Trump's leadership in bringing these Arab countries together as well. So this is a very big moment for us as a country, and we should all be very proud of the work that our president has been doing on our behalf.
Yeah, really being the leader of the free world and putting together something that many people never could have even dreamt. You could just see even from the former prime minister, he was very emotional. He almost had tears in his eyes thinking about this incredible moment in history. Victoria, too. Then, of course, it goes to the other phase. And then the issue is, of course, will Hamas play any role in the leadership of, Gaza? Of course, most people say no, no, and no. And then also the role of disarming, too. That's going to be a very complex phase. We first, of course, want phase 1, but then there's a very complex phase 2 right behind it.
Oh, absolutely. And the president's 20-point plan is very conditional, if you will, Rita. Certain benchmarks have to be met for reconstruction to begin, for the aid to start to flow into Gaza. And the question will be for the Gazan people, the Palestinians living in the Strip, what they want their future to be. I've seen some interviewed saying, we don't want any more war. We are done with Hamas. It is over. And we've heard from some of the tribal groups that they are willing to step up and start providing some some civil services to these people. And that has always been the whatever $1 million question, if you will. Will the Palestinians finally say, we are done with this? We don't want to live this way anymore. And that's really going to be the bottom line, because if they decide they want to support Hamas, they want to regroup and try to attack Israel again, Israel's going to go right back in. And the plan opens the door for that if Hamas doesn't cooperate. So the burden is on them.
Yeah, that is for sure. And also, there will be these other groups, as you mentioned, a lot of them will be supervised. And we also know some U.S. troops who will be headed to the region, not in Gaza, but will also be in the region to keep the peace. This is going to be very complex. But of course, first and foremost,